So for the people that don't know who you are, obviously you're from a different country, so people in the States might not have heard of you. State your name and your age and your respective position in the band.
Alright, my name is Jona Weinhofen. I am 30 years old. I play lead guitar and melodic vocals in the band. I also manage the band in Australia.
Okay. How did the band form?
Actually, three of us went to high school together. Met myself and two of the former members. Just doing an interview. So I met our original drummer, JJ, in high school, and we've been friends ever since. And then our old friend Crafter was one of the original vocalists in the band. So basically we met with a bunch of other guys where we grew up, south of Adelaide in South Australia. And a few of us had played in bands before in high school, and then we just decided to start this band, and
Just kind of happened.
yeah, we had a few members in the beginning, changed up a little bit, and then we got Kevin and Sean on guitar and bass around about 2003, and they've been on every release since the first record. And right now we just got a new drummer, and in 2011 we got a new vocalist when we reformed.
Cool. Whose decision was it to reform the band?
It was kind of everybody's collectively. I mean, when we broke up or went on hiatus or whatever you want to call it in 2007, it was kind of, just we were starting to build a lot of momentum overseas. We'd done like 3 or 4 US tours. We'd just done our first European British tours. And in Australia we were doing really well, and so, we had some problems with our vocalist at the time, and he ended up leaving the band, and that's why we made that decision. But then, we did like a farewell, kind of like a final say goodbye tour in 2008, and the tour went really well, and we kind of didn't realise that many people cared about the band. So we left it for a while, and 2 or 3 years later we were still getting like constant attention and fans wanting to hear new material, so we just didn't want to ignore that anymore.
Cool. You have a new record coming out next year?
Yeah, that's right.
Is there anything you can tell me about that, like potential release date, name of it, anything like that?
We don't have a name, just working titles. We actually don't even have a label for it right now. We're talking to a few different labels. I think we're shooting for sort of like a January, February release next year. It was actually meant to come out this year, but at the time I was still playing in Bring Me the Horizon full time, so everything was moving slower for Prom Queen than we'd hoped. And so this year we're just doing a couple of tours, and then the rest of the year we're focusing on making the record.
Are you experimenting with any new sounds on it?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, the last record we wrote in 2005, and it came out in 2006, and so that's a long time ago, Between then and now, I've been in 2 other bands. Some of the other guys have been in other bands that sound totally different. We're all listening to way different stuff these days, so I think we'll probably try a few new ideas, but I also think that our core fans are really fans of us because of our sound, and so we're not going to discard that too much.
Okay. What's the writing process like?
For us, hopeless. No, a couple of us live in different cities now. A couple of the dudes now live in Melbourne, which is about an 8-hour drive from Adelaide, where we're originally from. And we've all spent a lot of time in Melbourne. We have a lot of friends there, so it's not so difficult getting back and forth. It's just when we can get together. Yeah. So generally, I'll write stuff on my own on a computer with electronic drums and stuff, and I'll either send my ideas to the other guys, or I'll do it, while I'm staying with them, and then we'll try and get together as a band, all 5 of us, and jam it out.
Okay, cool. Who were your influences personally?
I guess back in the day when I was writing the older material, I was listening to a lot of like Swedish kind of melodic metal stuff, and that's still a huge influence on me today, like bands like In Flames and Soilwork. And then of course we got like the hardcore element too. We listened to loads of bands like Hatebreed and Earth Crisis, Bury Your Dead. And then there's just a bunch of weird stuff in between where we get other little weird ideas from. So it's, I guess that's the main kind of original.
Are they what got you into music and wanted to be in a band?
I mean, I wanted to be in a band when I was like 12, 13 and first learned guitar, and I liked totally different stuff like friggin' Dire Straits and Michael Jackson, some weird shit. And so, but I guess when I first moved to the high school I went to, where I met the older guys from Prom Queen, some of those dudes kind of introduced me to more like punk rock and hardcore and metal and new metal and all that stuff. So that's when I really knew that I wanted to play music, when I first started being in bands in high school, when I first heard.
Did you ever think that that would turn into touring the world?
Not really. I mean, it's definitely something we always wanted to do, and it's you know,
I think everybody dreams of that.
I feel super lucky that we've been able to do it. It's awesome. But it's not like we started the band with the intention of getting massive and touring everywhere. We just wanted to play heavy music. We just wanted to play with our favourite local bands from where we're from in Adelaide. And once we'd done that, we were like, oh, okay, we've done that now. Let's try and play in some other cities in Australia. And then each time we accomplished something, we realised that we could do it, and we just set the bar higher each time.
Just kept going from there. Cool. Cool. What's been your favourite place out of any place that you've played?
I guess it depends. I mean, I have places that are my favourite to visit on tours just because of the city's nice, or I have good friends there. But the shows might be crap. You know, like I really like a lot of Scandinavian places like Oslo and Gothenburg and Stockholm in Sweden, Oslo in Norway. But I guess for shows, you know, some of the bigger cities are always really cool, like London, we have good shows there. Sydney, Australia, our hometown in Adelaide is awesome to play.
Yeah, I bet that'd be pretty cool.
Here in the US, I mean, we've been all over here and played some really strange places that, you know, probably American bands don't even go. Oh, Pittsburgh's not that weird, but like...
No, like this venue. It's not set up for metal.
No?
No, the place that it was supposed to be at was a hockey rink that they were going to cover, and for whatever reason they switched it to here, which is actually smaller than the place that they were going to have it at.
Yeah, right.
But whatever.
Yeah, I don't know, like we just like touring a lot. It's always cool to be in a different place.
What's the best part about touring?
The best part about touring? I don't know, touring, not having to have a real job.
Hanging out with your mates.
Yeah, hanging out with your friends, seeing new places.
Not showering.
So is not showering the worst part of the tour?
Yeah, for me, I hate not having a shower. We actually have a shower on this RV, so
that's
we're kind of
awesome,
living large. But yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of bad things about touring, but the pros definitely outweigh the cons. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing it.
Yeah. If you could pick 4 bands that have ever existed in any decade to tour with, who would they be?
Probably have to go for some like massive 80s metal band, because I used to play huge shows. So I don't know. Probably, what did you say, 4 bands?
Yeah.
I'll pick Poison. I'm not even really a fan of the band. I just think playing one of their shows would be sick.
Yeah.
The Prodigy have always been a favourite of mine.
Very good.
Completely different music to us, but it's just they've got a great live show. I guess I would pick probably In Flames, because I've only ever seen them like once, and they've been a favourite band of mine for a long time. I've never got to play with them before. And then maybe someone like Parkway Drive, just because we've known them since the beginning of our career. They're good friends of ours. You know, it's always awesome to tour with someone that's a band that you get along really well with.
Yeah, especially since they're from Australia too.
Totally.
Yeah, that's cool. Who's your favorite artist or band outside of the metal or hardcore community?
There's a band I listen to a lot from Sweden called Emmanuel, and they're sort of like really mellow post-rock stuff. I became a big fan of them. One of the guys in Bring Me the Horizon showed me their record, and we just happened to be in Gothenburg at the time, and they were playing a show, so we went to the show to check them out.
That's cool.
And now I became really good friends with the dudes in the band, so cool. It's awesome.
What guitar and amp setup do you use for live shows?
Right now I play through PV heads and through Mesa Boogie cabs.
Like a 5150?
Yeah. or a 6505,
Yeah.
whichever.
Same thing, pretty much.
I'm endorsed by Comparison Guitars, which is a Japanese company. They make some pretty sweet guitars.
If you weren't in I Killed the Prom Queen, what would you be doing with your life?
Probably working in a supermarket, since I didn't finish high school and I have no qualifications. No, I don't know. I mean, I've dabbled a little bit in other areas of the music industry, like band management and booking and stuff like that, so I do okay at that. I'll probably just do something with music outside of being in the band itself.
Like the business side of it.
Yeah, that's right.
Cool. Cool. Did you get to watch any of the Golden God Awards last night?
I didn't, but I attended one of them a few years ago.
Did you hear anything about the little pissy fit the Black Veil Brides threw?
I did not hear that, but
Okay, background story. They won their 3rd Metal Song of the Year award, which I don't understand because they're not even really a metal band.
Right.
So they walk out on stage and the crowd just like starts booing them. And they're getting all pissed off and saying like, you fat fucks don't even have a song on the radio and we just won our 3rd award. And they were on stage for like maybe 30 seconds and then walked off.
Sounds like a tough day.
Yeah. Do you respect bands like that at all? Or people who say shit like that? Like, I mean, I get that it's one thing to walk out to a booing crowd, but your fans are also in the crowd and they said nothing about their fans at all. Just talk shit on people booing them.
I've been in that position before. I've walked out onto a stage of people booing us. We supported The Haunted and Exodus in Australia back in the day. And back then, this was like friggin' 8 or 9 years ago, and we were all wearing tight jeans and had little fringes, and we walked out to all these long-haired metal dudes, and they...
Same we do in 2013.
Yeah. And they absolutely hated us. And it's hard, like, I gotta give that to them. It's, you know, maybe they're just... In situations like that, you're not thinking completely straight. They're probably not thinking, fuck, some of our fans are out there. They're probably just getting pissed that dude's being so disrespectful. I mean, you know, they look a whole lot different to a lot of people. I don't want to say they bring some of it on themselves, but they're definitely doing something controversial with their image. And I don't really know what the guys are about personally. I mean, I've met a few of them, and I thought they were really cool guys.
Yeah.
And I just see it as an act, you know, it's a performance. And I think the problem is people take that side of things way too seriously. People see the imagery of bands like that and don't agree with it and think, oh, fuck this band, you know, they're faggots. But they're just dudes having fun, playing music, and just because they put a bit of black makeup on, they're just getting out there and giving a performance, you know what I mean? Yeah, maybe that whole speech to the crowd about getting booed was part of a performance too.
Could have been, I guess. Are there any plans after this current tour with Asking Alexandria and Whitechapel?
Yeah, we go pretty much home to Australia. We have a few weeks where we continue to write the new album. Then we do a short little Australian headliner. Then finish the album and head over to Sweden to record it in August.
Who are you recording with?
We're recording with Frederick Nordstrom, the same guy that did our former record. And once that's done, we have some European touring lined up. We've got a few more US tour prospects for fall, and then Christmas, and then next year, touring everywhere.
Cool.
As much as we can.
In support of the new album there?
That's right, yeah.
Cool. Any advice for upcoming bands, musicians, fans?
I don't know, I mean, I guess you got to believe in what you're doing and work really hard. You know, I mean, some bands get super lucky and they get scouted, or there's a bigger band that likes them, or they get picked up by a label really early. But a lot of bands have to work super hard, and that's what we did in the beginning. You know, like we probably toured playing small crap shows for years before we got recognition in our hometown, let alone outside of Australia and other parts of the world. So just got to be really persistent and work at it.
Last question. With the passing of metal legend Jeff Hanneman and the drummer Dave Lombardo being booted from Slayer, do you think Slayer should carry on and find a replacement for Jeff, or retire while they're on top?
I mean, I don't think... It's a hard one, you know, like... I don't think the band should stop because because Jeff died. I think like that stuff like that kind of gets to me a little bit because we've had people say that to us. You know, we have different members now, and we'd been a band. I mean, this is no comparison with someone dying, obviously. No disrespect to Slayer. But you know, we've had a few different member changes recently, and I'm technically now the only original member from 2000 when we started when we were 17 years old. But we still have 3 of our core members from all the records and everything like that. And we've had people say, you know, you guys should change your name. You don't have your original singer. You don't have your original drummer now. And it's like, well, I still wrote all the music. I still manage the band. I still booked half our tours. I'm driving us on this tour and tour managing and trying to write the record and doing everything. So I guess as long as I'm in the band, I feel like I have the right to continue my band. And I'm sure that's the same with them, you know, like Jeff's obviously was a big part of the band, and it's a real sad story that he's passed away. But that doesn't mean that Kerry and what's his name? Singer boy.
Yeah, that's me too quick.
What's the singer of Slayer's name again? And the bass player?
What? Singer or bass player?
Singer. It's the same dude.
I don't know.
Don't put this in the interview. I'll look like a noob. I've toured with him before as well. But anyway, what I'm getting at is that, you know, if they want to write records and they've written all the other stuff, then why shouldn't they continue?
Yeah.
You know, I think it would be a shame for such an awesome band to call it quits.
Yeah, especially since they're still working on their new album.
That's right.
Like this God is